Good morning all of you. In this video we will discuss about another subkingdom, that is Phanerogamy. In this subkingdom, it has two divisions. One division is Gymnosperm, another is Angiosperm. But both are together is also called Spermatophyta or seed producing plants. The first division of the subkingdom Phanerogamy is Gymnosperm. Here in Greek language it means gymnos. In Greek language gymnos means naked. Sperma means seeds. Sperma means seeds. It means these gymnosperms possesses naked seeds. So gymnosperms are gymnosperms in which seeds are not covered by fruit wall. That means they bear naked seeds. Generally, seeds present inside the fruit. Here, fruit wall or fruits are absent, but seeds present. So, seed is not covered by any fruit wall or any fruit. So, that's why they are naked. They bear naked seeds. That means seeds present. Gymnosperms are seeded plants, but fruits are absent. Let us discuss some important characteristics. Of gymnosperms. Gymnosperms include medium trees or tall plants, or sometimes they are also shrubs, but herbs are totally absent. One of the gymnosperm that is known as sequoia or redwood tree. It is the tallest gymnosperm. This is the tallest gymnosperm, 111.6 meters height. This is the tallest gymnosperm. And one more is Zamia pygmea. So Zamia pygmea this is the smallest gymnosperm, 26 centimeters height. 26 centimeters size. This is the smallest gymnosperm. And second important character is that unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, in gymnosperms both male and female gametophytes, they do not have free living existence. All of you know in bryophytes, gametophyte is dominant where sporophyte is dependent. In case of pteridophytes, a sporophyte is dominant while gametophyte is independent. But that much of conditions absent in case of gymnosperm. Both are dependent with each other. That's why here both male and female gametophytes do not have free living existence. And here the dominant phase or the main plant body of gymnosperms is known as sporophyte. The sporophyte is the main plant body in their life cycle. And this sporophytic plant body is differentiated into true roots, true stem and true leaves. The sporophytic plant body is differentiated into true roots, true stem and true leaves. So let us discuss which kind of roots, which kind of stem, which kind of leaves are present in gymnosperms. In gymnosperms, roots are taproots. Taproot system, all of you know very well what is the taproot system and what type of branches are present. So in here the taproot system is present. So in taproot system there is a main root, this is called taproot. And this taproot in gymnosperms are also, the taproot is the direct elongation of radicle, or it originated from radicle. After formation of taproot, so taproot or primary root or mother root, it is long lived and it produces many branches. And these branches are secondary roots, lateral roots, tertiary roots and rootlets. And all these secondary or lateral roots are also, all these branches are also called lateral roots. Lateral roots is originated from pericycle. Already we will discuss in morphology of flowering plant chapter. So this type of roots present in case of gymnosperms. In many cases the roots are taproots. Here the taproot is the direct elongation of radicle and it produces many branches, and all these branches are known as lateral roots. But in some species of gymnosperms, like the roots of Pinus, Pinus is also one of the gymnosperm. The roots of Pinus, it is symbiotically associated with fungi, and such type of roots are known as mycorrhizal roots. Mycorrhizal roots. So mycorrhizal roots helps in absorption of large amount of water and minerals from the soil. Already discussed in biological classification chapter. And some species like cycas, and these cycas, they are symbiotically associated with some of the microorganisms like bacteria. Especially these roots are called coralloid roots. These roots are called coralloid roots. Coralloid roots helps in nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen is converted into useful forms. And these coralloid roots and mycorrhizal roots, they are specialized roots. They do not possess root hairs and root caps. Root hairs, and especially in coralloid roots, they are positively phototrophic. That's why they do not possess root hairs and root caps. So in gymnosperms, in many gymnosperms, the roots are taproot. In Pinus and Cycas also taproots are present, but some of the specialized roots are symbiotically associated with fungi or cyanobacteria, and these roots are called mycorrhizal and coralloid roots respectively. Mycorrhizal roots helps in absorption of water and minerals, while coralloid roots helps in nitrogen fixation. So this type of root system present in case of gymnosperms. So gymnosperms are actually, they are highly advanced plants in some times, but now they are replaced with angiosperm. Next, stem, aerial, erect, or sometimes prostate. In some cases, a stem is unbranched. Stem is unbranched in case of cycas, and in some cases, stem is branched. Stem is branched in case of Pinus. Next, leaves. So what type of leaves are present? The leaves are simple or compound. In some cases simple leaves, in some cases compound leaves. What are simple compound leaves? Already you know about that. So in some species like cycas, the pinnate compound leaves persist for few years. Pinnate compound leaves persist for few years. After that, again they possess simple leaves. And in gymnosperms, the leaves are well adapted to, they are well developed to withstand extremes of temperature, humidity and wind. All gymnosperms are also regarded as xerophytes. So what are xerophytic plants? Plants of arid region. So here gymnosperms are also called xerophytes because in some gymnosperms are called conifers. In conifers, the leaves are modified into needles. Generally, the structure of leaf is like that. But here, in some conifers, the leaves are modified into needles. Just they are scale-like leaves, like that. The needle-like leaves, they reduce the surface area, and also here, inside the leaves, there is a thick cuticle, and also they possess sunken stomata. So what is sunken stomata? Generally stomata present on epidermis, but if stomata present inside the medulla, then it is known as sunken stomata. So needle-like leaves, thick cuticle and sunken stomata, they reduce the water loss. Because gymnosperms are usually, they are present in humid regions or hot regions. That's why in hot regions, if high temperature leads to the high amount of transpiration. If large amount of water lost from the leaf, then they become wilted. Permanent wilting will be occurred. So for that, the leaves are modified into like that. Thick cuticle, sunken stomata and needle-like leaves, they reduce the water loss. And in some gymnosperms like Ginkgo biloba. In Ginkgo biloba, the leaves are fan-shaped. If you see the NCERT textbook, then you will find the diagram of Ginkgo biloba. In this plant, the leaves are fan-shaped. The leaves are generally simple leaves present in simple leaves present in gymnosperm, but in some case compound leaves present. But the leaves are modified in some gymnosperms like conifers. Generally conifers they are grow in hot conditions. That's why the leaves are modified to needles, thick cuticle, sunken stomata. They reduce the rate of transpiration. Next important character is gymnosperms have well developed vascular tissues. They have well developed vascular tissues. Suppose xylem and phloem. Pteridophytes also contain xylem and phloem, but the primitive xylem and primitive phloem. But the xylem phloem of gymnosperms are well developed. So xylem helps in transport of water and minerals, and phloem helps in transport of food material. Here all gymnosperms are heterosporous. All gymnosperms are heterosporous. Heterosporous means they produce two different types of spores, both male and female spore. The small microspores, that means male, and large megaspores. Large megaspores. Micros means male, mega means female, and these microspores are usually spores present on sporangia. Spore producing structure is called sporangia, and both microspores and megaspores microspores produced in microsporangia, megaspores produced in megasporangia. Then sporangia usually they bears sporophylls present. If microsporophylls, if megasporophyll. Then all these sporophylls they are aggregated or they are arranged spirally on central axis to form a compact structure, and this compact structure is called strobili. A strobili is also called cone, or cone is also called legs. Means all sporophylls, because here flowers are absent. The reproductive organs present in leaves. The leaves or the leaflets which possesses reproductive organs is called sporophylls. And sporophylls are aggregated into a compact structures. These compact structures are known as strobili, cone or legs. Here the microsporophyll or the microspores present inside. Micro means male, male. Microspores they are present in microsporangia. Microsporangia usually situated on microsporophylls. Then all microsporophylls they are aggregated. All microsporophylls are aggregated to form male cone. Or male cone is also called pollen cone. Male cone is also called pollen cone, or it is also known as microsporangiate. And here the microsporangia undergo or microsporangia encloses. The microsporangia encloses microspore mother cell. Microspore mother cell which is diploid, and this microspore mother cell undergo reduction division or meiosis to form 4 microspores, and these microspores are develops into male gametophyte. Microspores develops into male gametophyte, and this male gametophyte is highly reduced because it possesses very less number of cells. Then finally this male gametophyte is converted into pollen grain. To pollen grain finally they produce male gametes. So male gametes they helps in fertilization process. So microspores produced by microsporangia located on microsporophylls. Microsporophylls they are aggregated to form male cone, and here male cone possesses microsporophylls. Microsporophylls contain microsporangia. It is enclosed by microspore mother cell, undergo meiosis to form microspores. Then microspores reduced into male gametophyte, highly reduced structure which form pollen grain. Pollen grain ultimately they germinate to form male gametes. So similarly in female structure also, in female condition also same. So what is the female spore? that is megaspore. So megaspore produced by megasporangium. Megaspore is produced by megasporangium. It is present on megasporophyll. So megasporophylls are aggregated to form female cone, or female cone is also called seed cone. And here how megaspores produced by megasporangium. Megasporangium again it contains megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell again it undergo meiosis. It undergo meiosis to form megaspores. 4 megaspores. Out of 4 megaspores, 3 become degenerated. Only 1 become functional. This is called functional megaspore. Then functional megaspore undergo repeated mitotic divisions to form female gametophyte. Female gametophyte contain 2 or more archegonium. Then archegonium acts as female gametophyte. And it also contain, so this female gametophyte usually present on the female cone. The female cone contain integumented megasporangium. Integumented megasporangium. And this integumented megasporangium is also known as ovule. If you observe the diagram of ovule, so like this. So these are the protective layers. The protective layers are called integuments. So inside the integuments there is a integumented megasporangium. This is ovule, and this ovule has a nutritive parenchymatous tissue, and this nutritive parenchymatous tissue is known as nucellus. And it has, this is the ovule, and it has 2 or more archegonium. So archegonium finally produce egg cell or female gametophyte. And this side is micropyle site. And this side is known as callosal site. So it is called integumented megasporangium because this is the megasporangium or ovule. A megasporangium or ovule, it is protected by protective layers. These protective layers are called integuments. Due to presence of integuments, 1 or 2 integuments, this ovule is also called integumented megasporangium. Integumented megasporangium has archegonia. Archegonia produce female sex organs. Then both male and female sex organs, they are fused to form zygote. Here, if both male and female sex organs present on same plant, that is known as monoecious. Both male and female sex organs present is known as monoecious. Then best example is pinus. Pinus is monoecious. Monoecious means mono, single. Both sex organs present on same plant. If both sex organs present on 2 different plants, then it is known as dioecious. So dioecious condition usually present in cycas. So when after the formation of both male and female sex organs, the male gamete is produced by pollen grain, and female is generally it is present inside the female gametophyte or ovule. So during the pollination, what is pollination? It is the transfer of male gametes into female gametophyte. So during the pollination, the male gametes are transferred through air currents into female gametophyte. When they enter into female gametophyte, then male gametes fused with female gamete, it results in the formation of zygote. Then zygote transferred into embryo. Here the female gametes also permanently retained inside the female gametophyte. That's why they produce, means ovules present, So after the fertilization, the entire ovule is transferred into seed. Then seeds, when they fall on suitable substratum, they germinate to form another sporophytic generation. So this is the life cycle of gymnosperm. Majority of gymnosperm are some of the important general characteristics of gymnosperm. This is the first part. Then second part discuss will in next video. But before that, let us discuss the life cycle of gymnosperm. This is the diagrammatic representation or graphical representation of life cycle of gymnosperms. Life cycle, graphical representation of life cycle of gymnosperms. So in gymnosperms, the main body is sporophyte, and this sporophytic plant body has male cone and female cone. So this is male cone, this is female cone, and male cone contain microsporangia, and female cone contain megasporangia, and internally it has microspore mother cell. Short form it is also written as MMC, microspore mother cell. Here also megasporangia also contain megaspore mother cell. It is also MMC, megaspore mother cell, and both undergo meiosis. So MMC produce microspores, and it produce 4 megaspores, but out of 4 megaspores, 3 generated, only 1 become functional. Then microspores produce, ultimately they develops into male gametophyte, but finally it converted into pollen grain. And megaspore, it develops into female gametophyte. The female gametophyte contain 1 or 2 archegonia. Then pollen grains produce male gamete. And archegonia produce egg cell. So internally ovule, it has ovule, and ovule internally contain egg cell. Then both are fused. Both male and female gametes are fused. What is the result? Zygote. Then zygote develops into embryo. So embryo is a part of seed. Then seed develops. Then seed germinate to form again another sporophytic plant body or sporophytic generation. So this is the life cycle of gymnosperm. So in the next video we will discuss some important general characteristics and economic importance of gymnosperms. Thank you.